You might have heard at least one of the what-ifs in this debate. What if the girl gets pregnant after being raped? What if the girl is still studying? What if the lady is a bit old? Many what-ifs. And today I'm going to discuss 2 what-ifs that might actually occur. So we have already seen in the previous episodes that the unborn needs to be considered as human being from conception. I have given 3 premises from which this conclusion needs to be drawn. These premises are so basic that most can understand them. Those who ignore these premises are either scientifically, morally or legally unknowing. That is just a fancy word for being dumb. Also, Christians who ignore God's clear involvement with the unborn can only do so when they actively change the meaning of the Bible. There is no way they can come to the same conclusion when they apply good hermeneutics, that is, good interpretation of the Bible. In any case, do watch these previous episodes if you want to understand the whole picture I'm trying to set forth. You'll find a link to the playlist in the description of this video. Okay, dilemmas. There are dilemmas. How about the serious sick mother? What if, for example, a lady gets serious complications during pregnancy and her life is at stake? Here we as Christians have a problem that cannot be solved without compromising and thus adopting a more liberal stance. Treatment of the mother is most important since the unborn is depending on her and will also die when she dies. Sometimes mothers are advised to get a therapeutic abortion because treatment, for example chemotherapy, could potentially harm or kill the unborn and to improve the mother's chances. Yet, recent studies showed that the risks are not as big as one would expect. Also, women who carry to term have more chance to survive their disease. Medical treatment should aim at rescuing both lives. However, if this fails and if the unborn dies, it is unintentionally and along these lines not morally wrong. Despite all this, abortion to save the mother's life does probably not, strictly medically spoken, exist. Although it sounds noble and pure to those who recommend abortion, in reality it is, to say it with the words of Sloan and Hartz, a real stretch of our thinking. Another dilemma could be that a young girl becomes pregnant after being raped. In the UK, raped women can ask treatment in several forms, some of which include treatment to cut off a possible pregnancy. But when we say that the right to life is inalienable, we cannot agree with treatments that intentionally kills the embryo. Understandably so, the raped woman will have horrible emotions, but emotions cannot be accounted for good moral decisions. Bad does not become good when we feel like it. The late apologist Geisler puts it like this: if morality can mean anything for anyone, then it means nothing for everyone. So how about human rights? The basic content of these problems evolve around the most important question: do we acknowledge the unborn as human or not? You see, even when the unborn will be harmed by treatments or is malformed in any other way, we cannot deny the unborn the basic human right, which is life. So, when a certain treatment cannot wait and needs to be done, a doctor cannot just suggest terminating the pregnancy as a precaution. Doing so is, as mentioned in part 2 of this series, scientifically, morally and legally wrong. Now, many may argue that that last premise doesn't count. They may argue that abortion is legal in many countries and as such the doctor wouldn't be handling illegal. But be that as it may, the mere fact that ungodly politicians say that something like abortion is okay doesn't make it okay. Even when earthly judges rule that it is fine, we as Christians, and thank God, with us many who have their brains switched on, cannot accept that law. For this, I would like to point to my last video on Romans 13. You'll find the link in the description of this video. So, human life begins at fertilization, and it is absolutely wrong to intentionally kill innocent human beings. We must stand true to these foundational principles through every emotional appeal and in every tragic scenario if we are to have any principles at all for which to stand. In the next episode, I want to make a case for a rather controversial position in the debate, namely an approach that compromises on the ideals in the Christian worldview. Doesn't that sound like a nice starter-upper for a discussion, that is? But please hear me out first before you start to shout at me. Also, depending on the length of that episode, I would like to talk a little about our attitude in this debate. I know it is a matter of freedom to some, while others suggest we're talking about murder, but these discussions are bound to end up with cold hearts and heated heads. Anyway, let's talk about this a little bit more next time. Don't hesitate to write down your ideas, remarks or initiatives in the comment section below. And I'm mostly active in my account on Odyssey, so go ahead and make an account on Odyssey and write your comments there. You'll find an invitation to Odyssey in my description. And when you accept my invitation, we both receive some free LBC. Odyssey is absolutely censorship free, unlike YouTube or many other platforms it is. On Odyssey we can discuss this topic without having to be afraid of being banned. Isn't that nice? So, as always, do take a look in the description of this video, because there are some nice and relevant links down there. Also, in the same description you'll find ways to support me, and your support will be used for making new videos and my work as missionary in the middle of nowhere on Madagascar. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, God bless you, and we'll see each other in the next video. Thank you for watching this video. You can give me a thumbs up if you liked it. You can also subscribe to my channel, or even better, follow me on Odyssey. That way you will never miss a new video. You will find all the links in the description below.